Welcome back. Here in Marianna, Florida, as we've been saying, waiting for food trucks. It's a great day. Here now with Lynne Eldridge, Executive Director of Early Learning Coalition. Lynne, already spoken to several people. This is fun. What a day.
Yeah.
Talk about what we're doing here.
Well, Paul, what we're really trying to do is to support working families that just sometimes don't have the extra it takes to maybe have a great Thanksgiving dinner and then have some groceries afterward. These are typically your families that just miss those guidelines of getting any other kind of support. And so working and partnering with other community organizations, North Star Church, Hands Up, is just a great opportunity for us to be able to serve some of these families in a very special way at a very special time of year, a time of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said it that way, because so often we fail to recognize that there are families that fall through the cracks.
Yes, sir.
There are some who have obvious need, who have nothing, pretty much being taken care of hand and
That's
foot.
true.
You've got the people who are still doing well despite the economy.
Yes.
They don't need any help, and they're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you fall in that category where you're working, and you're almost penalized in some cases for working, unfortunately,
Sometimes
because
it seems that way.
and you know what I'm talking about.
do.
And I'm sure most of our viewers understand that in some cases there are guidelines, and if you are just above or below whichever way is the bad side for you of that guideline, then you don't get to avail
There's really
yourself.
not a lot of support out there for you. You're exactly right. And yet these are those people that are struggling just to pay the electric bill. And Paul, in fact, I had a mother say to me how grateful she was for this opportunity because she had made the decision to not pay the electric bill in order to have Thanksgiving dinner because her family was coming in from out of town. And she said, I wasn't going to be able to do both, but now I can. So That's the kind of choices that people make. And we're just very grateful that we can spend this day trying to help families and support them because they are working, they are doing their best, but sometimes it's just not enough to get by.
Early Learning Coalition looks like all hands on deck
Yes,
out here
sir.
today.
That's exactly right.
You're executing the intermediate giveaway. You're giving it to the providers who will then give it to their clients. But North Star Church is actually at the top of this pyramid.
Oh, isn't it amazing?
Talk about their involvement.
I just am so very grateful because really North Star Church is in Bay County, and they had a vision to feed 5,000. Feed 5,000. That was their logo. And it just so happened, really quite by accident, that the pastor, Marty Martin, and I were having breakfast, and he said, well, we're hoping to feed 5,000, but we don't know whether... I said, I know how you can feed 5,000. Easy. And let me tell you about these families, Marty. And he didn't really know what we did, that we worked with families to try to ensure that they could keep working yet afford quality early learning services.
Let me interrupt you. Marty Martin has spoken to groups of your providers in the past.
Yes, he has.
But even he was unaware of everything that you did.
Yes.
Wow.
Really, it's pretty complex some days, and so he didn't realize the group of families that we primarily worked with. So when I shared with him, Marty, we already know that these families are working, but they are at 150% of the federal poverty level. Sometimes, Marty, with 2 incomes. And he said, you're kidding. And I said, no. And he said, well, would you like to partner with us? So we began to talk. And of course, I thought we were talking only about Bay County again. And Marty said, no, Lynne, no. We will handle Bay County. We will support you in your rural counties with the families you serve. That was unbelievable to us. You know, nobody's ever offered to help us. And you know, Paul, better than anybody about the shrinking resources in the rural counties. So when we were able to say to our early learning providers, our small businesses in these communities, hey, we'll do this part, you do this part, and you support your families. And you know the beautiful thing, Paul, is Marty and North Star said, listen, it doesn't matter if families know our name. That's not what this is about. It's about their community helping them, supporting them. And then when they're on their feet, they can support the community in another way. So I just can't say enough about how grateful I am that North Star stepped up and said, we'll help you support your rural county families, as well as Bay County.
Yeah, they gave you an opportunity to be a hero.
They did. They really did.
That's a wonderful story. We're here in Marianna right now in Jackson County.
Yes, we are.
Waiting for 2 trucks.
We are.
Providers
Huge
are already...
trucks, 18-wheelers, I understand.
Oh, so they're semis.
Yeah.
And you've already got some providers showing up.
We do.
More all the time pulling up right now.
That's right.
When you leave here, probably in the later afternoon, you're going to Chipley and do this all over again.
We're heading to Chipley and do this again, yes.
How many providers total between Marianna and Chipley do you think you're going to be working with?
Almost 80 providers, I'm thinking.
Wow.
Yeah. But because we also will be doing Gulf and Franklin, the coalition got a U-Haul, and we actually have staff who are going to fill up the U-Haul and head to Gulf and Franklin counties and deliver straight to the sites.
We just spoke to Melissa Holley from Bluntstown.
Yes, she's one of our providers.
Delightful young lady.
She is.
Really has her head on her shoulders.
She does.
It definitely cares and definitely has a heart for what she does.
Yes, she does. She does.
And so she's from Calhoun County up here in Jackson County. I would imagine when we're in Washington County and Chipley later on today, you'll have people from Bonifay, from
we
from
certainly
Holmes County.
will. Certainly will. Coming to help us actually unload and support, not just pick up. So our providers were in our rural counties, just responded beautifully. We almost have 100% participation in our rural counties with all of our providers. So we were not expecting that. We thought, well, this is our first time, but actually it has been amazing. Just cannot tell you. And one more time, communities coming together, people helping people. That's what it's about. If we can keep that message alive and well, we'll be okay. We'll be okay through these tough times.
Melissa pointed out sometimes pride gets in the way.
Yes, sir.
We've spoken about that on other appearances on the show by you and your staff. Shame on us if we don't use what we're doing today to demonstrate a year from now, if we're lucky enough to be able to do this over, so that people will get over that hump and realize it's not about you, it's about your kids.
Yes, and about family.
Yeah.
That's right. It goes right back to family, being able to support one another and the community helping each other. What I love about this is it's not a handout, Paul. This isn't... And we didn't want people to feel like that. We could have had parents come, and then we thought, they're comfortable with their providers. They're going to pick their children up anyway. Nobody has to know. And so a long time ago, my mom and dad taught me a valuable lesson about every time you can help somebody save their dignity, you do that. You do that. It will pay off in the long run. And that's what we really tried to do today in such a way that families could, if they want to tell somebody, great. If they don't, that's great too. My hope is that they'll get on the website and tell North Star and this food pantry a hand up how grateful they are that people care about them. They're working. They feel like many times they're the forgotten population.
I can see why Marty was quick to try to partner with you. You made his job a lot easier, certainly. And
we hope so.
Yeah, this is it's a pretty compelling story. Thanks for taking the time. Obviously, things are gearing up around us.
We're hoping to find a semi-truck really soon.
Well, thanks for all that you do.
Thank you, Paul.
So often you come on the show, we talk about the nuts and bolts and the challenges of ELC. Today, it's all good. It's all positive.
This is a good time. Yeah,
If I forget, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, and blessed Thanksgiving to you and Deb.
And we'll talk soon.
Yes, we will.
We're here in Marianna, Florida with Early Learning Coalition. Today, giving away food. What could be a more joyous occasion here just a week before Thanksgiving, or actually a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving. But we're having a ball, and we're going to talk to a few more people before we leave. We'll be right back.